Well, I've been researching the European Union for a long, long time. And coming from Britain, we've been aware of that going way back. The foundation of the global conspiracy that I've been exposing all these years is to centralize power for a simple reason. If you have lots of diversity of decision-making, then any central few are not going to have power over all that diversity. There's too many points for them to control to get the decisions that they want. So what you need if you're a dictator, look at any dictatorship, look at communism, look at fascism, look at any of these forms of dictatorship, and what do they want? Centralization of power, dictating to everyone and everywhere, because only then can you have that central power where what you say and what you decide affects everybody. Now, once I'd started to realize that centralization of power, and of course on a global level, we now have a name for it, it's gone so far, globalization. Now, because this conspiracy is a stepping stone movement towards a global dictatorship, then the constant movement to further centralization is essential to bring that about. So what we now started, or then started to see through the European Union, was the gathering together of nations under a central dictatorship, central rule. Centralized control. We want a bureaucracy which we'll put in Brussels, which will dictate to the whole of Europe. We're going to have a situation where that bureaucracy, whatever it decides, overrides any laws decided by national parliaments. Because Hitler wanted something similar, a United States of Europe. As my research shows in great detail, that was the plan. So what do? They use what I call the totalitarian tiptoe. You're here, and you know you're going there, but you know if you go there too quickly, people will say, hold on, what's going on? Because the change is so great. So what you do first is you say, we're going to have a free trade zone. And it won't take anything away from you, won't touch your sovereignty, but it will be great for jobs. We're going to bring trade barriers down. It'd be really good. Okay, all right. And then you start. Well, you know, this free trade zone, yeah, it would be much more kind of efficient and work better if we had a few rules that everybody had to obey. Okay, you're moving. And over this period, from the 50s up to now, incessantly you've seen this stepping stone of more and more centralization of power in the European Union. For a time, you had what they called the veto, where a country could veto the introduction of a European law if it didn't agree with it. That whole process of countries vetoing the laws is now being eroded rapidly, and what they want to get to is a place where there is no veto. If you're in the European Union, what the central bureaucracy, like the Politburo, that's all it is in the former Soviet Union, says is going to happen, and you're going to have no say or veto of stopping it affecting your country. So you see this, and how it fitted perfectly, the European Union, with this centralized global dictatorship that I've been exposing. And they want an Asia, Eastern, Australian, etc. version of the European Union. So eventually what they want is to pick off every single country in the world into one of these unions, and these unions will answer to the world government.